The village of Dolton is more than $3.5 million in the hole. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is accused of misusing money, and today she's nowhere to be found.
So we have worked very, very diligently, very hard under difficult circumstances to get as much information as we could to share with you.
She thinks she's innocent, or what do you think?
I really don't think that she thinks she's going to jail. I'm also a former Cook County Sheriff for the Department of Correction, and I suggest that she go and take a tour of that facility so she can see what's in store for her.
Corruption in power positions is nothing new, but Mayor Tiffany Henyard has taken it to another level. Now the consequences are catching up with her, and the feds are hot on her trail. For years, she's tried to evade responsibility using every trick in the book to stay one step ahead. But this time, it's different. Nothing seems to be working in her favor, and the walls are closing in. Let's dive into the latest development as Mayor Henyard faces the fallouts from her actions. 1. Major Tiffany corruption drama. Contrary to common belief, Tiffany was not elected as mayor, but the township. So this whole Tiffany saga was kickstarted when the Board of Trustees appointed her after to complete the term of a deceased mayor, Frank Zuccarelli. According to state election law, the Dolton Township Board has about 60 days to appoint a replacement to complete Zuccarelli's term. The main contenders for the appointment were widely believed to be trustee Joyce Washington because of her lengthy tenure and status as interim supervisor, and trustee Jerry Jones. Dolton Township Assessor Cassandra Elston was another possible appointment, but we all know how politics works, and unsurprisingly the Board of Trustees could not agree upon a single candidate. As a twist of fate, the motion to nominate Henyard was made by trustee Christopher Gonzalez, and Henyard was voted sworn in minutes, before midnight. Though the name seemed random to many in the audience, it was later revealed that Henyard had applied for the position some time ago. Tiffany Henyard was nominated as a last resort, and that was how Tiffany was appointed to the mayor position. I don't know about you, but if Tiffany did not make it to the first round of nominations, they should have taken it as a sign. In the end, it all came down to a ticking clock. Gonzalez later revealed that he didn't want the crucial supervisor position to be left in the hands of the township electors. Although he had repeatedly pushed for Elston, someone he believed was the right fit, time was slipping away. With the midnight deadline fast approaching and the board deeply divided, Gonzalez made a last-minute move and nominated Henyard, hoping that the urgency of the situation would force the board to unite, setting aside their differences to make a decision before it was too late.
The Dolton Township Supervisor, how do you feel right now?
Oh man, I'm overjoyed. Didn't see it coming. I love it. That means that I am truly blessed and everyone loves me. I love them.
Fans believe that the Board of Trustees had their own agendas to hide because they did not want the decision to go to the hands of the public. However, the consequences of Gonzalez's hasty nomination were faced by the whole Dolton city. The first meeting that Henyard led was a pretty mundane Oriental meeting in which she expressed her motivations to serve the people. She said, "My Board of Trustees and clerk, I want you guys to know that I appreciate the confidence that you have restored in me to lead such a big path of the late Frank Zuccarelli. So I thank you for your support and your love. Thank you. I pledge to the residents of Dolton Township, the elected officials, the Board of Trustees, and the entire staff that we will work hard and have an honest and responsible fiscal year. Also, I pledge to remember I am a public servant. I will always keep the people first. I was known as the people's trustee. Now I'm the people's mayor, and even now I'm the people's supervisor. So thank you again." Things seemed to be running smoothly until Mayor Tiffany started axing people who were close to the former township supervisor. Rumors quickly spread that Tiffany had a personal vendetta against those who had supported Frank in his role. Allegedly, she felt threatened by those with deep roots in the job, especially when they tried to guide her through the responsibilities of the position. It's somewhat understandable though. Tiffany wasn't chosen for her skills, and that insecurity apparently fueled her need to assert control and dominate the city. Mayor Henyard's first move was to oust Jessica Jones, with trustee Jerry Jones making the motion and trustee Joyce Washington sending it after a tense silence. The vote was a swift and shocking unanimous decision, with even trustee Gonzalez and Gray Everett giving their approval. But Henyard wasn't done. She swiftly targeted Stephanie Wiedemann next. Trustee Jones again initiated the motion, and despite a brief pause, Washington seconded it. This time, the vote was sharply divided at 4-1, with trustee Gonzalez standing alone in opposition. It is interesting that no one asked Tiffany for an explanation for the termination of two longtime employees. Even the employees didn't know what was going on. Jones said, "When it was decided, an employee text messaged me and said, 'I'm so sorry they let you go.' And I was just, what? It was a shock. It was out of left field for me. It hurts. I have not been told why. I have reached out and I'm waiting to hear back on setting up a meeting and finding out what has happened. 2. Controversies. So it turns out Tiffany was already running amok like a headless chicken, but no one was there to stand up to her. You might not know that Tiffany has recently and apparently been bullying her other elected officials. Sources reported that Tiffany has been beefing with Township Assessor Cassandra Elston, locked her out of the office in a fit of rage. When Elston later got access to her office, she found piles of paperwork sitting on a table in the common area outside her office, an area that sees foot traffic from 50 to 100 people every day. That paperwork included names, addresses, income details, social security numbers, and sometimes medical information about people who come to the assessor's office for help applying for tax exemptions, property reassessments, and other programs.
Have confidential, sensitive papers that were in a common area.
This morning, some of those documents were gone.
Since the heat started getting to Tiffany, she released a statement claiming that she reorganized the office spaces and Elston was making a mountain out of a molehill. The assessor's office was moved as part of the larger effort to prioritize citizen services. All cabinets were moved as units with no individual files or items taken out of the cabinets. I am happy to provide photo documentation upon request related to the cabinets being moved, without any items being removed or distributed. I appreciate the hard work our local media does, but I believe the residents of Thornton Township would be better served if the local media focused on news with substance, like Thornton Township being awarded the Government Finance Officers Association in the United States and Canada's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, rather than a simple rearrangement of office space. If that were true, fans still find it suspicious that there was no paper trail of the announcement of such arrangements. Anyway, other members also supported Tiffany's antics and decided to give a long statement claiming that Henyard had never contacted them. Keith Freeman said,
"This was relocated to an area so that we can take care of some business in her office area. She did not call and ask us why she was being relocated. She did not call and ask us any information about that."
Now, since Tiffany was not doing much for the community, the rumors about her incompetence reached far and wide. But instead of addressing the root problem, she decided it was a mature reaction to shame the media for not writing good about her. And that is not an exaggeration. I would appreciate if people stop writing negative stuff about the township and write all the good that we do in the township. Write the stuff that's the truth, not the mess and gossip. And that's kid stuff. God don't make no mistakes. He put the right person that he knew was going to do the work and take the lashes and bear the strength to keep going, enduring it all. He put the right person there, because go check my numbers and you'll see what I'm really doing despite what people write about that's false. After trying hard to save her face, she ultimately started holding private meetings, and even when the media was granted access, she would wrap up meetings as soon as the reporters would arrive. When Tiffany's reputation did a nosedive, she resorted to spirituality to prove her point. She claimed that she was a good spirit who was fighting with the devil.
I keep listening to people and no one's showing you fact. They keep telling you fiction, fake story, fake news, like for real, stop. But go check, guys, if you really want to know the truth so you can understand what it is that we're fighting over.
The drama got messier as Gonzalez, who had nominated Tiffany, saw how she had reacted as soon as the camera turned off. He claimed that from the first day, Tiffany started acting like she was the one who ran the show now.
She just kept basically yelling, what are they going to think now? What are they going to say now? Speaking of the Dolton trustees, because I guess, like I said, there was already a rift and I didn't know.
Just in her first year on the job, she had been involved in multiple controversies, including the hiring of an inspector who is an S offender, spending taxpayer money without board approval and using Dolton police officers for personal security. It's sad that we have to get to this point, that we have to go through court proceedings as it's costing the village money because of the negligence that the leadership has shown. Anyway, things started to go haywire for Tiffany at the annual meeting. A 23-year-old South Holland resident encouraged township leaders to foster civic engagement by taking good faith actions, including making information readily available. You say that you want us to be civilly engaged. You say that you want us to be showing up and present in these meetings. But from my first meeting at Thornton Township, it seems like there's actions being taken that are the detriment of the citizens of the township. Another resident, Gardis Watts, responded to comments Tiffany Henyard had made about the voters' choice to vote down a mental health referendum that would have raised taxes in Thornton Township. We're not brainwashed. We're fed up. Nobody said that we didn't think mental health was important. We just don't trust you to fix it. Maybe that's why Tiffany didn't want the residents to have a say in her decision, because she made decisions for herself, not for the people. You better believe the residents called her out on that. This is not attacking you as a black woman. I've always been held accountable for my performance, my results, and I expect the same of you. Trina Downs, who used to back Mayor Henyard, didn't hold back in a recent confrontation. Addressing Henyard directly, she claimed that she had pushed Henyard to speak, but now she had a long list of complaints. Downs expressed her concerns about office issues, being locked out of a Dolton board meeting, and even raised concerns about S misconduct on official trips, pointing to Dolton trustee Andrew Holmes. Another resident, Nate Fields from South Holland, who worked as a photographer for Thornton Township, also weighed in. He recalled that after Frank Zuccarelli's death, Henyard had promised, "Nate, whatever you need, I got you." However, Henyard fired him without proper reasoning. He said, "Why was I fired if I was such a good photographer? You told me you had my back, but clearly you didn't. So where's the accountability?" A township staffer claimed that Henyard was allegedly using other men to intimidate workers and keeping them silent. Media is badgering the workers. All I want to do is work for my community. It's very scary when you have grown men coming at you and threatening you. I'm scared to go to work. I'm scared. I don't want to feel scared to come to work every day. 3. Investigation launched on her by the feds. Tiffany Henyard's tenure as mayor has been nothing short of a legal minefield, with lawsuits piling up against her faster than anyone can keep track of. The legal drama surrounding her is almost as infamous as her fiery personality, from employees alleging wrongful termination to local businesses accusing her of favoritism and unfair practices. Henyard is at the center of most court cases than a prime-time legal drama. You might not know, but Henyard is named alongside Dolton Village trustee Andrew Holmes in a SA lawsuit filed by a Dolton police officer who was a member of Henyard's security detail, as well as a woman who used to work for the mayor. Another lawsuit alleged Dolton officials gave a barbershop owner the runaround in improperly denying a business license. Not to mention, Dwayne Thrash, a former maintenance manager in Dolton, has also slapped her with a lawsuit that's sending shockwaves through the town. Thrash alleged that he was approached by one of Henyard's close allies in 2023 with a shady scheme to replace the school board's attorney with a law firm handpicked by the mayor's inner circle. When Thrash refused to go along with the plot, things took a turn for the worst. According to the lawsuit, he was abruptly fired while on an approved vacation under the flimsiest excuse of unsatisfactory work performance and insubordination. The legal filing has demanded that the city erase the part about his inadequate work performance and award him compensation for his abrupt firing. The lawsuit has accused the mayor of multiple offenses, including violating the First and 14th Amendments. Ever since Henyard became mayor of the village of Dolton and supervisor of Thornton Township, she and her closest allies within the village of Dolton and Thornton Township, including Freeman, have terminated the employment of several individuals they feel pose a political threat to Henyard and her political image, and or who run afoul of Henyard and or Freeman by defying their wishes. Lawsuit upon lawsuit forced the feds to take action. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is stated to be investigating embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard to the pay rate of $400 per hour, according to sources. Henyard has been under scrutiny from Dolton residents this year over her alleged lavish spending habits. The mayor has allegedly funded frequent travel, hotel stays, and pricey meals on the taxpayers' dime. Henyard has defended herself, saying she is being targeted for her status as a black woman in power. The Dolton Village Board of Trustees agreed to bring on Lightfoot, a former federal prosecutor. Henyard was reportedly absent from a meeting while the room was packed with community members who cheered for Lightfoot's appointment. I look forward to the work ahead and urge Mayor Henyard and her administration to fully cooperate with this investigation by promptly providing the requested documentation to give all concerned a complete and accurate accounting of the fiscal conditions of the village. The residents of Dolton deserve nothing less than a government that is fully accountable, responsive, and transparent, and effective stewards of your precious tax dollars. Among other issues, Lightfoot will investigate a trip Henyard took to Las Vegas, which reportedly resulted in unapproved expenses and accusations of misconduct. The former Chicago mayor will reportedly examine why a village prosecutor received a $900,000 salary over 2 years, though she lacks authority to raise formal criminal charges. Lightfoot can reportedly deliver any facts discovered during the investigation to authorities. In March, Henyard vetoed a FBI probe into her conduct and has reportedly threatened to respond similarly to Lightfoot's appointment. Anyway, Henyard has a political committee. Her cancer charity, her boyfriend, 2 of her relatives, 4 trustees who are allies, her deputy police chief, and even a defunct burger business are all named in the subpoenas. The documents demand Dolton and the township turn over payroll, expense, employment, reimbursement, credit card, travel, and dozens of other records related to a grand jury hearing for evidence. Things are also getting worse for her cronies as well. Federal prosecutors charged Henyard's top aide, Keith Freeman, with bankruptcy fraud, accusing him of failing to report his earnings from Dolton. Despite these serious charges, Freeman has continued to hold his positions in both the village and township, fueling speculation that his lawyer might be maneuvering to secure his cooperation with investigators. Adding to the controversy, the village of Robbins has also been subpoenaed in connection to Freeman's tenure as an administrator there. An audit obtained by sources revealed that Freeman allegedly received more money that was budgeted during the time in Robbins. Retired FBI agent Wright said, "They'll turn up more leads, they may turn up more witnesses, they may find a cooperator, they may get an informant. All will benefit the investigation tremendously." Despite what's been going on, Henyard has repeatedly denied wrongdoings and claimed concerns about her spending of taxpayer monies and allegations of political retaliation are fake news motivated by race, despite the fact that Dolton trustees who have challenged her are also black. You should all be ashamed of yourselves because you are all black. You are all black. And you're sitting up here beating and attacking a black woman that's in power. You all should be ashamed of yourselves. Investigations unveiled that Henyard and her entourage have racked up more than $102,000 in travel expense charges to taxpayers in the past year, according to an analysis of credit card records by WGN Investigates. Records show first-class airfare, a stay at a $9,000 hotel at the Four Seasons in Atlanta, and a $13,000 bill from the Marriott Marquis in New York City. WGN Investigates previously reported on a trip to Las Vegas by Henyard and her allies that cost taxpayers at least $26,000. Well, fans believe that Tiffany must be behind bars for all the crimes she has done. Stop paying Tiffany 6 figures for a public servant job that she's not doing, and you might have some money. Better yet, put her behind in prison where she belongs.